right. Well, welcome to our 4th episode of the Batman comedy and other stuff, where we talk about Batman comedy and other stuff. I am comedian Nicky Moon. With me, as always, is Kyle Adams, comedian Kyle Adams. Kyle, how you doing?
My bat boner is about an orange right now. It's about like 75%. But
it's reaching danger zone.
Yeah, it's reaching the danger zone. We're gonna update you guys on the status of our bat boner. As per one of our Twitter commenters.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's, so if he's listening, I can't remember his name, but if he's listening out there, probably not, because you commented negatively on the first one. But we're gonna update you guys on the size and ferocity of our bat boners. On every podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
We got a lot of interesting Batman news here. I want to start with a funny one. There was a couple in the United Kingdom who got caught having sex at a screening of Batman vs. Superman. I don't know if you guys have heard about this.
They got caught. Where did they get caught?
They got caught in Manchester, England.
Manchester? No. Like inside the theater.
Oh, inside the actual theater while the movie was
they were
playing.
watching Batman vs. Superman.
Yes.
While they were having sex.
Yeah, I did hear the movie did better overseas. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, I like that. You were saving that one all day. You were saving that.
I just came up with that on the fly. I did write that down on my phone to remember.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
But no, he and then he proceeded. He was confronted. The man was confronted about having sex with his wife during the movie, and he punched theater staff in the face when confronted. So that's why he was arrested. Cause,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so he got mad.
He got mad and he punched the guy. He got pumped up. I don't know what scene he climaxed during. I think it might have been when Superman was like penetrated with Doomsday's spike. I don't know, but that's a funny story. We got some more Batman news here. There is going to be a DC female villains and hero story spin-off. And Harlequin is going to be either the center of it or one of the main pieces of it. And I read that Margot Robbie has been going through all of DC's female stories, and we're going to see some really cool stuff in this movie. We're going to see probably the pairing up of Poison Ivy and Harlequin, which would be interesting.
That'd be really cool.
And maybe Birds of Prey storyline. We might see Oracle. We might see Batgirl.
And they kind of had like a lesbian thing.
Yeah. We can. Don't sound too excited. Yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, I feel like DC might be. I mean, I really like the way that. Hollywood is going this way. I mean, you got female leads in both of the new Star Wars movies, which is awesome. And if you've seen the trailer for the new one, looks awesome. And obviously, Force Awakens was really well done. We had good acting in a Star Wars movie for once.
Yeah, how do you feel about the Ghostbusters thing?
I love the first two Ghostbusters. I saw the second trailer for the new Ghostbusters, and I'm hesitant, but I do think it will do well because all of the women involved are very funny. Leslie Jones is very funny on SNL. She's one of the few people that still makes me laugh on that show right now. And also you've got Kirsten Wiig, who's great, and you have Melissa McCarthy, who seems like she's in a different role this time. I hope she doesn't just fall down for humor. Like she ended up becoming like falling into that gap where she was a bigger woman, and then you know what I mean, like the Chris Farley type gap.
Yeah, like the thing is, like with that, is like
Kevin James type. Like
I think they're already fighting a losing battle to begin with, because like when it comes to actual like movies that get turned into comedies like right away, like there's not a lot that are good. You know, like Dumb and Dumber 2, like anytime they try to recapture the like comedy's like this weird thing where like it only happens like. I don't know, like with Ghostbusters, I mean, it's just so special, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, it does look funny, though. And it's like, I mean, like, I'm actually looking forward to it. Like, I think it does. But I just think that, like, I mean, obviously it can't be good. It's not because, like, that's not because of, like, the all-female lead. But, I mean, like, It's just like it's making a comedy sequel. That's so hard to do.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I don't realize I haven't read up on enough to see if it's really a reboot or a sequel. Because like I don't know how it's going to be tied to the original universe, and I think that is what's going to be kind of important as well. But there's one thing I saw, and if this inspires young girls. The same way that it inspired us to enjoy,
to want to be Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly. No. I get that as well. But no, if it inspires them to enjoy comedy movies or enjoy sci-fi in general, like it opens that world for them, then that is something that is really cool. And I like that Hollywood is becoming more accessible with that. That being said, I think the DC universe, the females in there, have packed some fucking power, and they have some really interesting stories.
Well, honestly, I mean, like, they probably have some of the most interesting, like, actual stories going. I mean, Harley Quinn is actually pretty, like, I mean, it's all psychological. I mean, she's a psychiatrist. It's really cool. Yeah, no, I'm happy that. I'm happy that they're focusing a lot on her, and and the spin-off movie sounds great.
Yeah, I'm excited for a lot of the DC Universe spin-off movies, and I like that they're clumping an ensemble cast because that's how it's always been. Oh, yeah, and it's it's 77 days until Suicide Squad, you guys.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty excited about that, but.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a countdown,
which is great.
The news the news is coming. It's just a countdown to every DC film,
which I'm pretty excited about. I mean, but we also this is Batman comedy and other stuff, but we also talk about other superhero movies and other movies in general. So this
it's Batman is almost like very general, vague thing for comic book. Mm-hmm. I feel like comic book, any type of comic book, but still relating it somehow to Batman.
Yeah, at the end,
he's the best.
It's a fact. It's a fact that Batman is the best.
Honestly, if we're actually I remember reading this list on the top 100 greatest fictional characters ever made, and I remember it was an online list, but Sherlock Holmes was number 1 and Batman was number 2.
Batman is Sherlock Holmes. Batman is
yeah.
Sherlock Holmes had a rogues gallery. Sherlock Holmes was eccentric and it was at the peak of his physical prowess, and he was in the peak of human intelligence, just like Batman. It was very similar, and they're both very engaging.
Well,
the psychological factors of it.
Exactly. I mean, when Superman comes in 1932, I mean, it's a very black and white world, morally. Mm-hmm. Batman's the first kind of person. I mean, he's an anti-hero. And he's almost just his image is scary,
Well, so his color palette alone, he was blacks and blues and grays. Those were always reserved for villains.
Yeah.
But, in the old comics, they obviously brightened up his color palette at different times, but he was always dressed, like a villain, whereas the
also, the horns and everything, it looks demonic.
Image, yeah.
There is this, yeah, I mean, it kind of, first, there's a gray, and, not everything's, black and white. There is this really gray area where, someone would have to, work outside the law if he wanted to, make a difference, which is really cool. Did we run out of Batman news?
No. What was the other thing I had read?
Anything more on the Ben Affleck directed film?
We touched base on that the few past episodes. We know it's going to be we know it's going to be full of rogues gallery and whatnot. But what else?
How do you feel about him being so big? Batman just being really big, Cause Michael Keaton kind of had kind of a weird, because he is an aerobics kind of person, so he has to kind of be all around athleticism, but I don't know. I hope Ben Affleck doesn't get too big, because a lot of the allure is him being able to jump around and stuff like that, and
Well, it's something like, and it's something I was worried they might write themselves into a corner with, is like, because he is an older Batman, and like, what exactly, what exactly do we want to accomplish here? Do we want someone who's a little older and wiser but moves a little slower, or and that's another reason a lot of people can't wrap their heads around it. But
how many more movies can Ben Affleck have be able to when will his character start to fade into retirement?
I think they're gonna treat it like James Bond, honestly.
Okay, that'd be cool.
I feel it's like we're gonna get. I think Batman is gonna be every 5 years or so. There might be once they replace him, and obviously we're talking about infinite universes as well. We've already touched base on that, and I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna see a younger Batman maybe as well, and that's a possibility. We
were talking beforehand that our next episode we're gonna try to watch X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah. So we're both huge X-Men fans as well.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm Mr. Marvel hater, man. I've been distinguished as, but I honestly just don't. I'm not a fan of marketing. The marketing ploy of the Marvel commercials, and I call them commercials.
But X-Men is definitely separates itself from other Marvel movies because it's not actually tied to Marvel. It's Fox. Still has
Fox Searchlight.
Yeah,
still
exactly.
Owns it. And I'm not. It's funny because I'm not a fan of the standalone Wolverine movies. I thought the second one had some good parts, but it was kind of cheesy.
Honestly, even when they tried to get really dark in that second one, there's still some really I don't want to see Wolverine fighting robots all the time.
Well, the big reveal at the end of that was him remembering how to hold a samurai sword and going, "Oh, they're supposed to hold it with two hands."
Yeah,
and then he goes, "You can defeat Silver Samurai that way." Well, and also, I got the one cool thing about that. I didn't like X-Men 3 either. Was another weak point in the series, but that always happens with the director. I got to meet Brett Ratner and tell him to his face that movie was shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How did you meet Brett Ratner?
It was at a
you told me the story
lecture series at University of South Florida, and I wasn't mean to him necessarily, but I did tell him that movie kind of sucked. I told him Red Dragon was awesome, though. Which was cool. And he directed Red Dragon.
X-Men Last Stand sucked. Red Dragon was awesome.
Yeah, Rush Hour made me giggle. He did all three.
It's a rating of all your movies.
I mean, I was more.
At the top.
I was more.
Red Dragon at the bottom. X-Men.
Well, I mean, that happens anytime, and he got super defensive about it, and it was hilarious. He's like, "We only had a couple of weeks to put it together, and we had to destroy Juggernaut because he wasn't a cool character to begin with." It's like, no, he was.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This newest one I really like. I love Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique.
Well, the fact that Bryan Singer has come back. When this is his fourth fourth X-Men movie.
Yeah. Well, I really like Matthew Vaughn in First Class. And
why wasn't Superman Returns any good?
So no, and that's what pissed me off that summer. It was 2006, and I was like, oh, well, Bryan Singer's leaving X-Men. And I was like, maybe it'll still be good. I see X-Men, it sucks. And I go, oh, well, Superman's going to be great. And nope. I went to the midnight release of Superman Returns, and Kevin Spacey, and actually Nick Puente, who we had on earlier, I was talking about this. Kevin Spacey did a great job as Lex Luthor in that movie. And Mark Strong did a great job as Green Lantern's villain Sinestro in the Green Lantern movie. I think that they should get a second chance.
Exactly.
I think that Mark Strong should be able to still play Sinestro because he did such a good job. Maybe we'll do
When did he play Sinestro?
In Green Lantern.
Oh yeah.
That movie was. I don't know, and I saw Deadpool, and Ryan Reynolds spends most of his time making fun of that movie, and I'm almost like
a Marvel character named Sinestro too.
Sinestro?
Yeah, doesn't he fight the X-Men?
Are you Mr. Sinister?
Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister, that weird fucking
he's kind of
guy.
He's like right before Apocalypse, power level. I remember
he's like he's like one of the ancient ones or something. Like he's not necessarily but he's one of the maybe the time traveling ones. I can't remember, but I remember Mr. Sinister.
Yeah.
But no, there's a few overlaps. There's two Captain Marvels. Obviously, there's or Mrs. Marvel, and there's Captain Marvel, and then they ended up changing that back to Shazam.
Speaking of, they're gonna have to be cast a new Wolverine here pretty soon after this next.
Oh yeah. Movie.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know what they're gonna do with the X-Men franchise.
You have to get someone older, and that's trying to get an established older star to like come in to play Wolverine, because you can't get someone young.
Well, haven't they? And this is something that Marvel's been playing with. They've been doing age defying FX, like trying to make people younger and older. I haven't actually seen any of the movies that they said they used it in, but apparently they're getting really good with it. They did it with not Robert Redford. Is it Kirk Douglas in Ant-Man? Or one of them in Ant-Man, they made him like 30 years younger with FX. And I don't know if they're...
Michael Douglas?
Michael Douglas. Sorry, I'm Kirk Douglas. Michael Douglas in Ant-Man. They're using this age-defying special effects now. And if we can start using that with in superhero movies, that would be interesting, and that could create more longevity with some of the actors. But I mean, I
feel like they've already done it with like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, because they both have come in and they've both been CGI like young. Like I remember Patrick Stewart was CGI young in X-Men Origins, like at the one of the last scenes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he like comes in because he was leading Storm out to escape. It's gonna be interesting to see. I hope that they kind of like go based on the comic. I hope they get kind of like a 5'4" guy to play Wolverine. That's what I love about Wolverine. You know,
yeah.
He is. That's what I love about Wolverine. Wolverine is like great because he's also like almost like physically inept. You know?
Hey, bub.
Yeah, he's like this short, like just like kind of like beer guzzling guy, like feisty, and he has to be. You have to make him older.
He doesn't smoke cigars anymore, does he? Like he doesn't. I mean,
I remember
him
probably one of the greatest like comic books I ever read was this Punisher comic book, and this was kind of a newer one. This was like maybe like early 2000s, but it was following this. I think it was actually like it might have been not Warzone. I don't know. I forgot. But anyways, like, so he goes on this big adventure, Punisher, like, he's, like, in the jungle, and eventually he has to go back into the city. But in the comic book, he randomly comes across Wolverine, who's just sitting in, like, a bar, getting, like, super drunk, and just starting, like, bar fights, like, and like it's like kind of like it's like a drunk Wolverine, so he's like killing, but like it's like a pretty scary thing because eventually the Punisher has to fight Wolverine, and like he shoots off his face, and like it's probably one of the. But that's the kind of Wolverine like I want to see.
Yeah, I mean,
Old Man Logan looks promising.
Well, yeah, they said he goes batshit crazy like that. I want to see. That's perfect example of like I want to see. We never even really see Wolverine stabbing anybody that much. Like he's got these claws, and he should be tearing people apart. It should be like the bloodiest fucking.
Yeah. Do you think Fox will? How long do you think they'll be able to keep X-Men realistically?
I feel like every time, they're gonna get Wolverine in Avengers eventually. I feel like, and I've said this before, I feel like the Marvel fans are like little kids at the table waiting for their food. Give me my Spider-Man. Give me my X-Men. Give me my Galactus. Like it's like you're gonna get them eventually.
Yeah,
and, I mean,
there is like the sense of like they're like kind of spoiled, you know.
Yeah,
Us DC fans like have to wait like a good long time.
Yeah, we have to wait for a decent director to come along and a good story, and then the critics will shit on it before it comes out anyways. And
it's hard to do it. I mean, I just think that with like DC stuff, I mean, like you're going to be working with a lot of special effects, and it's hard to make really good CGI like driven movies. You know, I mean, like there's a lot of like. I mean, like X-Men, you can still make sets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, because it is, I mean, just like teenagers and all their powers are not as powerful. But like
there looks like some crazy fights in this new one.
Yeah, actually, no. I mean, that X-Men Apocalypse does look.
Yeah, but that's a different story. But I know exactly what you mean. I mean I think the most CGI they used in the first one was like in that Statue of Liberty fight with Wolverine. And
Yeah, and that was like when like
badass.
CGI.
Yeah. When he does that, he gets his claws and does a little loop-de-loo, which is like physically impossible.
Yeah, no, I really like. Man, that first X-Men movie though. That is one of the greatest like so cool. All right, we're 20 minutes in. Do you want to introduce?
Yeah, so I'm going to introduce a very special guest that we have here today. I used to live in his testicles, and he now I don't. So this is my father, Tom Adams, big Batman fan, and also he does comedy from time to time. So he's also in the Portland whereabouts here and there every couple of weeks. So. All right, how's it going, Dad?
Yeah, thanks for helping us out on the dead spots.
I feel like I'm going to be playing the devil's advocate, trying to defend the old Batman 66 TV show, but I really do love it, and I know you guys.
We like
you
it
can't find it. You can't find anybody in your generation that admits to liking the Power Rangers. But Batman was my Power Rangers.
I like the Power Rangers.
Yeah. But there's a lot of color, there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of movement. And it was silly, but
I think Power Rangers were, when it came out, I think there was more of like a shame kind of to. I remember like kind of being
they
like
called it potty trainers.
Exactly.
Like potty trainers.
It was a guilty pleasure.
But it was like
it was a guilty pleasure.
It was like for like children.
Yeah.
It was like for like
I watched
5
it in
and
kindergarten.
6 years.
Yeah, I watched it in kindergarten.
Yeah, exactly. But
Okay. Well, a couple of things. One, Marvel. This was 65, 66. Marvel was just experimenting with comic books for teens and young adults.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was a reporter, just like Clark Kent, a photographer, not a writer, but he got fired. I mean, he would go and solve a crime, and his girlfriend would break up with him.
Yeah.
He'd fail his college classes because he's being terrorized and tortured when he's supposed to be taking a final exam. I mean, Spider-Man had problems. Okay. The original comic books were for 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. Nobody envisioned that anybody would be interested in comics. So the DC comics were black and white.
Yeah.
It all came out, even the Rogues Gallery was based on the newspaper. I mean, in the newspaper you had Scarface, Machine Gun Kelly, Creepy Carpus, Babyface Nelson, Pretty Boy Floyd, Legs Diamond, and so Dick Tracy and then later Batman had their Rogues Gallery of silly guys with weird names and just quirky, eccentric people. And plus, when my parents went to the movies, when they were little, they spent all day. They didn't just watch the movie. They had a newsreel, good news from World War II, and then they had a cartoon, then they had a cereal. Batman. Yeah, we talked about that. They had Tarzan, Flash Gordon, and they also had a cliffhanger. Tune again next week to see if Flash Gordon escapes from, the giant octopus monster. And there was a Batman. That was really stupid. Black and white Batman. They'd change in the back of his limousine. No Batmobile, no computer.
Yeah.
It was pretty lame.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And other TV shows at that time, you had Bewitched. The guy's wife was a witch. Oh, don't tell anybody she's a witch. Don't use any magic. Ooh, embarrassment. And I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a genie and she can do magic, but don't let her do any magic because it's embarrassing and I'll get in trouble. And lose. It was like
you're just defending
so
the 70s.
And all TV was stupid. The biggest, besides Batman, the biggest TV show then was the frickin' Monkeys. And that was total slapstick garbage.
Yeah.
But it was to showcase the movies. It was colorful. They were cool guys. Had a cool pad, and they played music. But Batman and Robin, bright colors everywhere. They ran into the commissioner's office. They ran to the Batmobile. They ran to the Batpoles. There was all these gadgets, all this violence, bam, pow, splat.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that made that.
It was fun.
There's a lot of things that I think made that show really great. The sets. actually
Yeah.
having
Sets,
to build
the
Batcave
Batcave the Batcave with the moving rock. Was it a rock that moved out of the way, or was it the caution?
Well, they also they did
like
this
a
fire
rock
pole,
and
right?
Oh, the bat pole, yeah, they had
the bat pole.
They had one for Batman and Robin, and they couldn't. What if they slid down the wrong pole? I don't know. I don't
I don't think their outfits would fit.
Yeah.
No, but the first year, and plus they had the cliffhangers. The first 2 seasons they had the cliffhangers. It was on Tuesday night, and then the conclusion was Wednesday night.
Oh, wow.
Will Batman and Robin become, lime and pineapple snow cones? Tune in tomorrow, same bat time.
How did you feel about Batman and Robin?
I thought it was weird. I wanted to be Robin because I was 8 years old.
Oh,
I
you
thought
mean-
it was really cool.
Oh,
No,
the movie.
Batman and Robin.
1997.
Didn't like it.
Why?
Didn't like
Well,
it.
why? But it was very. It played off of
They kind of phoned it in.
They played off of the Adam West.
George Clooney really disappointed me. Arnold was fun to watch, but he was hamming it up. I like Poison Ivy and that. They were good and bad. I have that movie. I watch it now and then.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I like
watch
it,
it for comedy.
It's not the
even
best.
what Joel Schumacher was going for, that
Yeah.
it's still a bad movie, even
Yeah.
by those standards.
Yeah. Have you listened to his commentary? That's him apologizing for 30 minutes.
Really?
Of the movie. You need to look that up on YouTube. He's like,
Really?
he's like, well, it could have been a fun movie. This is a fun scene, and I hope it was just him by himself. Nobody else in the commentary.
Oh God, what a fucking, that's a madman.
And he's
I
like-
gotta watch that.
It's so good.
Batman movies though are like pizza. The worst one I had was pretty good. I still enjoy it. The TV show when they had the cliffhangers, and it played Tuesday and Wednesday. Boy, every kid in America was there. They watched it. We didn't get some of the sarcasm. I think they were teaching some citizenship. They were worried about kids turning into hippies, so it's like, oh, citizens, we have to be honest and follow the laws and don't do this, and those that don't take the easy way and use crime, you got to follow the law. That corny, old-fashioned stuff, I think it was the writers and it was the parents, and it was it's like a backlash to people kind of tuning out. The '66 Vietnam protests were starting to go on, and a lot of people were worried about their kids, so they kind of fed us that along with the Batman. I think it created. I think it created a new generation of Batman comic book fans.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of years younger than me.
Well, because you still follow all the movies and everything too, so you
Sure.
still really enjoy the
yeah.
character. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they still make a Batmobile. You can still buy a Batmobile. It's maybe $100,000.
Mhm.
They still make a Batmobile, just like the one from the TV show.
Yeah.
That you can drive.
I think it's interesting to
Street legal.
know the history of Batman and the actual because 60s and 70s. I mean, the comic book. I mean, a lot of the time the TV show was literally just doing what the comic books had already established because they were just going for a younger audience, anyways.
Exactly.
And then like in the 80s, that's when it really transitioned. That's when it almost it was like a complete
They were on
yin
the
and yang
cusp,
thing
yeah.
were they went really dark in the 80s. Like
They were on the
they had a
cusp.
real-
Is it Neil Adams was the artist? I think in the late '70s. That's when they
Frank Miller and Neil Adams.
Yeah. Well.
yeah.
He and I might be 100%. I think it's Neil Adams. He was it was the blue Batman suit or the blue cape and the blue cowl with the gray suit. That's when shit started hitting the fan. That's when Ra's al Ghul was introduced. That's right before that, and then we get into the Frank Miller and we get into the fucking crazy.
Well, they also
stories.
started playing with the bad aspect more,
Yeah.
I mean, also, in the late 70s, I also know that's when the Man-Bat first came out.
Oh, I love the Man-Bat.
The Man-Bat
Kirk
is-
Langstrom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's such a great...
Kirk Langstrom kills his wife. Science. Well, it's a classic villain. It's a the science is
Especially,
trying to cure cancer or trying to cure some disease. Becomes a bat and kills
just
his wife.
watching Batman face the Man-Bat, I mean, it really is, it's just great imagery.
It's another it's another dirty mirror image of himself held up against him,
Yeah,
just like the
exactly.
Joker.
The first episode of the animated series.
Oh, on
Man-Bat.
Leather Wings.
On
Yeah.
Leather Wings. That's a great episode. When he's riding the Man-Bat and he hits the...
I think I told you on
fucking-
Arkham Knight, you see him flapping around and you catch him periodically throughout there. And then you
Really?
Yeah.
You see him? Oh,
the
really?
Man-Bat, and you can just go, oh shit, there's the Man-Bat. You'll jump off a building and try and glide to him, and you'll catch him, and then he hits him with a serum. And it's
Oh,
pretty,
really?
it's pretty badass. Yeah, and he like has to study them and shit.
Arkham Knight sounds so awesome.
It's such a great game.
Do you have an Xbox?
Xbox One.
Yeah, an Xbox One?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. So you get to experience all the... Do you have to unlock, like, the capes and all the different capes?
So I bought the game for like $30, and then I bought the season pass for $30. So I actually paid full price for the game, even though it had been a couple years old at this point, or a year old at this point. And the season pass unlocked everything. So you got, I got suits from Flashpoint Paradox. I've got the Thomas Wayne suit. I've got, I was telling my dad, you got a Burt Ward suit for Robin. So when there's like super intense scenes, he's wearing this like little tiny bikini shorts.
Why was that? Why did they give him that?
I heard
that goes back to the very first Robin.
Didn't they have to pad it because he had his junk or something?
There was a problem with Batman, and more so with Robin. They were very gifted, and they had those little Speedos, those little shiny Speedos on, and they tried all kinds of little padding and things and so on to cover up the equipment and the Bat, and it didn't work out too well. They said that Adam West used to hit on all the female villains.
I heard
like the Joker would always have a girlfriend, and the Batman would be trying to.
Yeah, dude, Adam West.
I heard
I think Adam West was
everyone.
No.
I heard that like Burt Ward would come around the corner and Batman would be Adam West would be in the Batsuit getting head.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
God.
Just imagine that. And
everybody loved Batman in those days.
That's the same.
Everyone loved Batman.
That's the same suit that he wore to go visit kids randomly. Like in elementary school.
Don't start rumors.
Yeah.
No, the one highlight, the biggest,
that would still be pretty
highlight.
Cool to have sex in a Batman outfit.
Oh,
like we make fun of him for it, but we would all do it.
He did have that bat sleep, so maybe maybe he was roofing them. That was kind of interesting. One really creepy scene in the third season, they had Batgirl somehow got into the Batcave. And they were going to take her back to town, but they didn't want her to see where the Batcave was. So Batgirl's sitting on Robin's lap in the Batmobile, and they give her the old bat sleep. Oh. And they're about to drive out, and Robin says, Batgirl her legs kind of remind me of Catwoman. And Batman says, "Oh, you're growing up, Robin." I'm like, "Oh my god,
that is pretty funny." I remember Conan O'Brien talking
what are they
about
gonna do to poor Batgirl?
The original Batman television show.
Yeah.
He was just talking about how when it came to like set design, when it came to casting, when it came to the writers, everything was perfect.
Oh yeah,
for that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, like, for what it was, I mean, it's funny. It's a funny show.
I think that they were worried about, I think it's funny that they were worried about the violence in it, and they weren't showing the punches, and they were doing, like, the kapow and that. But every single villain wanted to kill Batman and Robin. Like, they just set him up in some crazy, like, Killtron 5000 machine.
Austin Powers.
Yeah, like, it's like this slow-moving death mechanism or whatever, like...
Easily escapable.
Like they strap him to a merry-go-round and spin it real fast.
I like the idea of like playing with when Batman is actually Batman. Like if you're like doing like a movie or like writing a comic book. Like I mean like a lot of the times it's set like even in like the near future or even like present. But like I like kind of like imagining like Batman like working in the 30s. Like I think that's really cool.
Yeah, if they could go, do a period piece Batman, like when he was created, that would be fucking. That would be
when
nuts.
he actually like was created. Yeah, no, like literally, you do like a 19. And I feel like even like the first
Gotham by Gaslight would be a great movie too.
Oh,
steampunk Batman would be insane.
Yeah, steampunk Batman.
Yeah.
Do you get that as a suit in Batman Arkham?
No. I think
I'm just asking you.
I think in Arkham Origins or one of them they did, but not in this newest one. You do get the Dark Knight trilogy suit, which is pretty cool. With
the Dark Knight trilogy suit.
Yeah, like with the
really?
like the tactical suit that Christian Bale wore. So
that was a really good suit that they made. Mm-hmm. Well, I like it just because like it was actually like practical. Yeah. Like, it looked like you could actually fight crime.
What do you think is your favorite suit, Dad?
I think I like the Michael Keaton suit in the first two. Tim Burton.
They switched it up in Batman Returns. It was it kind of looked more squarey. Like they squared it off in that one, but
I still think that's classic.
Squarey.
The all black suit with the gold and the
Rubber.
The
Rubber,
rubber
yeah,
suit.
the rubber,
Well, it made sense to have body armor
Man,
and all that.
in Batman Returns when he takes off his mask.
he rips it.
and-
Yeah, I was like, that's not that.
All of a sudden his paint isn't
Yeah,
there
yeah,
in the
yeah.
eyes anymore.
I want to see a Batman movie where he's putting on eyeliner. no, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly,
Eyeshadow. Because he
Well,
has
how
eyeshadow.
do you fix that? I think you just fix it by just making his eyes electronic, like they did in Batman and Superman.
Oh yeah, that's
Like-
right. Yeah, they totally. Well, they covered a lot of bases in that movie. Like I loved the voice modulation in that movie. That was badass.
Yeah.
And I still think that's the best, probably second, maybe the second best Batman on film suit. I just love how it.
You know, the last time that we did our lists,
Yeah.
we actually didn't include Batman and Superman on the best Batman movies of all time.
We didn't.
Yeah. Where would that rank if we because yeah.
For a Batman movie, I would. I really enjoyed it. It's tough. For
I
me
think
to say.
I think how we rated it was, did we go Mask of Phantasm
and
number
then,
1
yeah,
and then Batman Returns number 2.
yeah,
Number 3 Dark
Knight,
or Dark Knight was maybe number 2.
Dark Knight was number 2.
Dark Knight.
then
Number
Batman
3 was
Returns.
Batman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
I would put it. Honestly, I'd put it below Batman Forever.
Below Batman Forever.
Yeah, I think so. Just because. Well, first, it's not a solo Batman movie.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean? Like he's more of he's like the villain in it.
Oh yeah.
Man, Batman Forever to me is pretty good. Like,
See,
I still got
I
that
still-
movie on Blu-ray, and I love to get high and watch it.
Yeah, I Batman Forever wasn't nearly as bad as Batman and Robin was. It still had some decent points to it, but
Why do you think?
Jim Carrey borrowed from Frank Gorshin. Frank Gorshin, all the other Hollywood washed-up actors that played villains on Batman, like Cesar Romero, who wouldn't even shave his mustache,
oh, yeah,
You
and
did?
Burgess
the
Meredith.
reverse Marx Brothers.
Burgess Meredith, great
Meredith.
Penguin.
And he ended
Yeah.
up being Mick on the Rocky series. He was Rocky.
Yeah, Mickey.
Yeah, that's
He
right.
landed on his feet.
Get in there,
But
Rock.
they had
He's still like
they had all
He's
these
perfect.
old Hollywood actors.
He's not doing an impression of a penguin.
Yeah, they had
that's
these
just how he
old
talks.
Hollywood actors, playing King Tut and Egghead and all these stupid things. Somebody forgot to tell Frank Gorshin that it was supposed to be fun. He was scary.
Yeah.
And Jim Carrey did his, Batman, I am a ghoul. he was menacing. Frank Gorshin, that was the only time you ever thought, maybe Batman's not going to get out of this.
Oh,
Because
really?
the Riddler really loved to screw with him. And he would dance around, jump up in the air, click his heels, and, get loud. He's freaky.
Well, when you make the Riddler,
Mm-hmm.
do you make the Riddler smarter than Batman?
I think
I
they have to
think
be
he
on
should
par.
They
I
have
think
to
he
be.
should But he's insane.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, it's also, because Bane, beat Batman. Because he was
It's the
smarter
physical
than
prowess,
him. Yeah,
yeah.
well,
Yeah,
and Bane
yeah.
he was
Yeah.
smart, though.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
extremely smart. He was, tactical. He was,
Oh,
very,
yeah.
military. Now, the Riddler... now, see, you can have so much good stuff with, just the riddles, it almost, end up being, a Saw movie.
I would love to see, and that's kind of how he's played out in Arkham as well. I would love to see.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He is?
yeah.
How is he played out in Arkham?
So in
so
in Arkham,
You're just
in
telling
Arkham
me
Knight,
how the fucking
in Arkham Knight, in Arkham Knight, he kidnaps Catwoman and puts a bomb around her neck. And you've got to go through these different levels all around the city, and he's set up all these death traps for Batman, and it's pretty awesome.
They actually had some great Riddler episodes in the animated series one.
Yeah.
The virtual reality.
There was a lot of mind-bending ones where he actually had to escape a maze. And,
yeah. That virtual reality one where the Riddler gets burnt out at the end, and they fry his brain with the computer. That still haunts me to this day.
Yeah.
It freaked me out as a kid. That was a cool one.
Well, I love one of my favorite episodes from the animated series was the Maxi Zeus episode.
Yeah,
that one was really good because it's a kind of a weird one because you really don't know much about the villain at all.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a really cool he thinks he's Zeus
yeah.
on Mount Olympus,
Yeah.
and Batman. It literally, he's Because he is like Hades, like within the context.
Oh,
of,
yeah.
no, it goes into some really cool themes.
I had that on a VHS called Fire and Ice.
Yeah,
you
I
have
had
that?
Fire and Ice too.
Yeah, that was so badass. Yeah,
we grew up on the same thing.
My dad used to sit down and that was one of his favorite shows to watch. He wouldn't watch Power Rangers with me, but he'd sit down and he'd watch all of Batman animated series with me.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about the animated series?
I loved it.
Did you get into the later animated series?
Yeah. I also liked.
You watched all
what's
of
the other
Justice
one? What's the other one where Batman was paired up with somebody else?
Brave and the Bold.
Brave and the Bold. I like.
Yeah,
Brave
he's
and the
a
Bold.
huge fan of
Oh,
Brave and the Bold.
really?
I like
Yeah.
Brave and the Bold. I like Batman. I like all the Batman cartoons. I watched them when I was little, and they had the weird
Is there any ones that you
Batman
don't?
Superman adventures.
Yeah.
You know, they had first it was
Oh,
Batman.
yeah.
First they had just Superman, then they had Batman and Robin, then they had Batman Superman Adventures, and they brought in Aquaman, Wonder Woman. Then they started to bring in individual cartoons of Green Lantern and Flash, and
really
some
built
of
a
it
universe.
with Justice League. It was really cool. But then a couple of years later, they came back with the Super Friends,
And
the
they
non-violent ones.
Well, didn't they turn that into Scooby-Doo?
Yeah,
like they had
Scooby-Doo and
Super
the
Dog
Super Friends, yeah.
and
Well, when Warner Brothers wasn't doing any, because Warner Brothers
It was
did eventually
Hanna-Barbera.
did. I mean,
Yeah.
oh yeah, and
Hanna-Barbera traded off.
Did they actually? Because who then created the Batman? Because
that series?
Yeah, that series.
That was WB. I think that was like I don't think it was Bruce Timm and them. I don't know, but
it wasn't.
Did you ever watch The Batman?
I don't remember.
That's the one where Joker had like dreadlocks.
No,
And
I don't
you
think
never
I
watched
saw
that
that
one?
No.
Yeah, that one was a weird one.
I mixed that up with
They
Batman.
had the voice of SpongeBob.
I really didn't like it. I really didn't. I didn't like it. I remember watching the first episode and like the action.
It's all on Netflix now.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Well, the action things were good. I just didn't think the writing. Like I like the fact that the animated series in the 90s was took itself very seriously.
Mhm.
You know, it took itself as almost like a kind of like a soap opera at times. You know, there was a lot of like really good like
there were
core,
stakes.
like dynamics.
Like, there were big stakes, and they didn't placate children. They didn't talk down them. They didn't patronize them. They had enough going on where they could keep people involved with it, but also have kids keeping along as well.
Well, Batman and Robin one. One of my favorite episodes is a two-parter off of the animated series, and it is when Robin actually finds his parents' killer.
Oh yeah.
And like the whole thing kind of takes place in flashbacks, and eventually like he has to confront him, and like he like almost like he has to like make the decision whether or not to kill him, and like Batman's like kind of like injured at the end, but it's like it's a super
that's another
good.
that's another good part with
And it was a dark, really dark thing, yeah.
That's
They did really well with Robin.
Yeah. No, the Robin in
It's
that
like
was
be
good,
careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
And then what will you actually do if you actually do find out for sure?
Yeah,
Who killed
no,
Bruce Wayne's
exactly.
parents and who killed the Graysons?
Well,
and
I mean,
all that.
that's the hard thing about being Batman, because like he is like, it is towing the line of vengeance, like other than like maybe like the Punisher, who like that is just straight vengeance.
Oh, yeah.
With a tad more.
Yeah.
he's literally killing people.
Batman with a Harley and a machine gun.
We'll get into a little bit about comedy as well. What do you think? So you've been doing comedy. What was the first time that you did comedy?
I went to see you at Brody's, and then the next time you went there, I decided I was going to try to do some.
So did you guys start around the same time? How long were you doing it before?
I was doing it August 2014, and I think he was getting into it. Like he went once at Brody, maybe in like October or so, but
Yeah, you were a couple months ahead of me,
And
but
then,
I only do it once a week,
yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, and he'll take weeks off here and there, but it's he's getting a nice little stride. Like he's been getting into some stuff and even having some good sets.
How do you feel about it? Like, how do you feel like is it just fun?
I enjoy it. It gives me a big rush to hear people laugh, and it validates some of the things I've been thinking. When you're a teacher in the classroom and half the kids are asleep and the other half are not, really on your side, you feel pretty lonely up there. And you want to joke around and you want to say, hey, guys, I know you don't like chemistry, and I don't know what I would do if you did, but
You're a chemistry teacher?
I taught everything.
Oh, wow.
I was special ed, so I had to teach science, math, English, a little bit of everything. And I had to teach that physics class with physical science and chemistry. And they were just like, they're just tuning out.
Yeah.
They're like, this is stupid, I hate it. And I would have kids just look at me like, nobody's listening to you. I mean, perfect training for being on comedy stage.
Yeah, no, that's a bit brutal. I feel like that's what I love about stand-up comedy, you know, just because, like, well, I mean, like, I like the fact that, like, the fact that I've gone through it, you know, the fact that I've literally faced, like, existential, like, crisis, like, literally, like, looking at it, like, you know, like, people not laughing, like, people just not thinking you're funny in any way, shape, or form, and you like even like experiencing self-doubt, you know.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you can go through something like painful, you know, and then bring it on stage, and then it's like you said, validates it. It's funny, and you can turn something around like that. But yeah, I mean, we're all up there.
And it also forces you to look at stuff differently. I mean, when you're trying to like deal with something dark and you're trying to make light of it. I think I mean, that's really cool. I mean, your guys' stuff is pretty dark.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like, I mean, you have fucking, like, dead mom shows.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I'm kinda,
you have, like, the ultimate dead wife joke.
I kind of feel bad. My best laugh sometimes is when I say, you know, my wife used to tease me about my weight, 'cause I'm a big fat guy, and I like to eat their own stuff, and she's like, you're going to have a heart attack and die, and I'm going to have to raise him by myself. I said, well, I'll eat 2 slices of pizza and a brownie every day, and you smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. We'll see who's scared. Oops. I win.
Well, I mean, you still shouldn't eat all those pizzas.
But I'm still here 14 years later. I'm still here.
The fact I win.
I win. I didn't want to. That's not what I wanted.
Yeah, it is 14 years ago today.
I can't help being a smart ass.
Really? Was it
14
years today?
Today, May 20th.
You guys are... Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're hanging out today.
It was kind of a time thing. They kept her alive so they could, take her, harvest organs.
Would she have cancer?
She died of heart attack due to, it was like a sleeper heart attack. She really did have a heart attack during Spider-Man, like I said last night.
Really?
Stand-up, yeah. For the longest time I thought that Spider-Man killed my mom. She was complaining about, like having a really bad headache and having a backache and stuff. She had a heart attack. And she went to one hospital, and this is going to get sad, but I worked through this, guys, so don't worry about it. The first hospital, she seemed like she was fine, and she goes, oh, mommy's going to be fine. Second hospital, she got bayflighted. She had another heart attack while she was there. This is like a 2-week process. She was in the second hospital for a while, just non-coherent, not talking or anything. And then she ended up in ICU, and then we were waiting for a donor heart, and then everything just fell flat. And yeah,
so I was 14 years. So how old were you?
I was 13, but I was about to turn 14 because my birthday is June 15th. So it was right after Mother's Day that she died too. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it was May 20th of 2002.
May 20th, 2002.
Yep. Anyhow, that was pretty rough. But I was at the hospital for about 5 days. They were keeping her alive, and I was sleeping on the couch in the hospital waiting room all this time. And the nurses say, oh, I've seen people who were in worse shape come back. And the doctors are like, no.
Yeah, the doctors were like... That was when I realized... That's when I realized she was kind of fucked, was the doctors showed us like an x-ray. And they're like, you see this? This is her heart. All this dark area is really bad. Like, this is bad.
How far into stand-up comedy... Well, this is for both of you. But how far into stand-up comedy did it feel like for you where it was just like, well, I got to talk about this?
Or did you... That's a great fucking question. I don't know. It started with I in a weird way I honestly copied another comic's joke almost. Aaron Klopfer had a joke about dead dad.
You were trying to one up him.
Yeah, no.
I got a dead mom.
Yeah. And I love Aaron Klopfer to death. He's a great dude. And I stopped telling this.
Portland comedian.
I stopped telling this joke because I realized it's very similar to one of his jokes. Because he said. I got for my birthday was a dead dad, and I said something like, my mom was terrible, because my mom really was bad at getting me birthday presents, and I said, my mom was bad at getting me birthday presents, and on my 14th birthday, she got me the worst present of all, a dead mom. And it was like almost like cut and dry, and I was still a new comedian. I didn't realize it was his joke, so I stopped telling it, but that was the first one I did, and it was almost like I had to like practice a similar joke to get into it.
And this is for everyone listening. I've actually seen like people like cry with laughter with Kyle's dead mom material. Like
Yes.
but crying like almost like in like a just like overcoming it kind of like in a way like
Yeah, I get that feeling. I have the darkest one I have is the Sponge Mom joke, of course, and maybe I should. Okay, so when my mom, I'll do this. When my mom was in the ICU, and this is when people are dying. Sometimes their skin turns yellow and it gets kind of puffy. And I said then my mom looked like SpongeBob SquarePants, and that I wish that the doctor would have had better bedside manner and would have warned me first. And I basically go over the SpongeBob song. And I say, she once was your mother, but can no longer be. Sponge Mom dead pants. Puffy yellow and unresponsive is she. Sponge Mom dead pants. She'll never come back, no matter how hard you wish. Sponge Mom dead pants. Her insurance wouldn't cover a procedure like this. And that's always the part where I usually, like, I love that people don't want to laugh at that. And then by the end, they're mostly laughing. That joke is never bombed.
Yeah, exactly.
And I walk away like, and even if it makes people sad, I don't care.
Also, like it's pretty clever lyricism. It's pretty clever.
I wrote that in the bathtub. I listened to the SpongeBob song like 20 times sitting in the bathroom, and I wrote it out. But there's that cognitive dissonance that you like create with something that's really sad, but you're also fine with it, and if you can show the audience that you're fine with something super dark, it makes them feel awkward not laughing with you. And that's what I love about doing dark material, is you turn something it was the worst moment of my life, hands down, but I'm over it now, and it's like I can bring in a funny side to it. You know?
Well, I almost feel like, I don't know, I almost feel like it's an obligation. Like, it just as a comedian, like, you have to take places. You have to take people places where they don't think that they're gonna laugh, and make them laugh. And the only way to do that is to take them there and maybe sometimes not get the laugh.
Exactly. I love the silence that it creates. I usually get into that joke after a big joke, and I create a silence when I say you have to say goodbye to your parents. Yeah. But they're not gonna look like your parents.
Yeah, exactly.
And just you dig yourself a hole and then you blast out of it, and that's what's good about dark material sometimes. But yeah, it took me. I was very apprehensive about doing it for a long time, but it's something that's on my mind every day. So it's something that I was gonna have to write about eventually. You know.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about dark material when it comes to that? Like, did you feel pretty comfortable right off the bat?
Oh yeah, because it's so much time has passed and we've talked about it, and it's time to, exorcise our demons and share it.
Yeah.
It's like the dark thoughts that I had as a teacher, the dark thoughts I had, trying to date after your mom passed and not really being into it and meeting all these weird people. Just those things are, you got to work them out and get rid of them. Otherwise, they just stay in there and rot your soul. So you got to. Plus, I'm a smartass, and I think. I just think of funny shit to say just out of nowhere, and it just comes out. And I've embarrassed you 1,000 times hanging out with me. Mm-hmm. I mean, just always. I've always been that way, and I have to bite my lip a lot of times. But like I went to a bachelor party with a topless bar. I was the first one there. I walked in. The lady behind the bar, an old biker chick with about 3 teeth, pulls down her tube top and goes, "You got $1 for the old whore?" Well, I take out $2 bills. I give her one. I said, "Well, this is for you, darling. And when you see the old whore, give her this one for me." Okay? Well,
charming.
We didn't have to wait for
charming
drinks.
The old whore.
Yeah.
charming the
old whore. And not let her call herself an old whore. I mean, come on. You got to be a gentleman. It's like,
You gotta be a gentleman.
That just popped into my head. But I mean, all night long we didn't wait for drinks. We
I
had
can't
girls
believe that
run
she
on
fucking. She gave
smiled.
herself the old whore.
She threw it out there, and I just threw it. I rejected it. And she smiled with all 3 teeth. All 3 of them were smiling at me, and she just, she just thought I was the greatest guy in the world. And,
that's a heartwarming.
I mean, I couldn't let that pass. I couldn't let that pass. But I mean, at the grocery store, they'd be standing there with a plastic gallon jug of milk and say, "Do you want your milk in a bag?" I said, "No, leave it in the jug." And you'd get mad at me.
Oh yeah. So, do you have any favorite mics that you like to hit that are your favorite?
I like Curious. It's challenging because I have to make sure that my stuff will be acceptable. But I like that big stage, and I like that venue.
You have good sense of Curious though.
I like. I'm getting to like Alberta more, and I like Rusty Nail. What is that? That Rose and Thistle, where you're up on that little tiny little
Rose
platform.
and Thistle, yeah, that's
your
Sunday as
Mr.
well.
Microphone. Something about that I like.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like you feel like you're like a Mr. Microphone, like a 5-year-old playing.
Oh, the PA, yeah. There's a few of them. Well, you never did Sweet Basil when that was going. That was in a Thai restaurant right next to a bathroom, and we had one of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So it's called paying your dues.
Yeah.
You know what, Alberta though, I think is like that's coming to be probably one of my favorite mics.
Oh yeah,
because it's so intimate, and I love the dark setting. I love the lighting. I love that. Yeah, it's just lit well, and I love the stage.
I seem to do well at Alberta, but I always like Curious better. I want to do well at Curious. I kind of warm up at Curious, and then I make my adjustments, and then it's like going out for the second half of the football game after giving myself
Curious. Well, Curious is it makes you feel like a comedian.
Yeah.
Because it's a gigantic stage when it's filled. Looks like the whole room is like acoustic to laughter anyway. So you really hear it.
Oh yeah.
It feels like a professional show.
It's a very supportive room too. Andy Main does a great job of hosting it, and we all have a fun time there. So you and I are actually booked on a showcase together. This is your first showcase comedy wise. June 24th.
Father's Day.
Yeah, June 24th. We're gonna be out at Belinda Giles has got us out.
We're actually gonna be
Capital City. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
June 24th. We're doing Capital City Showcase together. So
I'm excited.
And I think Brian
you guys
Carter's
gonna play back to back.
Yeah, probably.
They wanted to put us back to back. So
Well, I got a couple of jokes that play off of him. Like I like doing that from time to time. So that'll be fun.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So we got that coming up. But she really liked his stuff, and yeah, he's come a long way, and we both have fun doing it. It's nice. It's a nice thing to. It's nice memories that I'm creating.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Overall, I feel like after a year into stand up, or like in whatever scene you're in, like you're gonna start getting booked at stuff no matter what, because unless you've been a complete asshole, you will probably have made friends. And those friends will eventually start their own mics, you know, and then eventually, that's how it goes. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I just think it's just, good to just have fun, doing it. Just actually,
taking risks is another thing, too, with new stuff. And I mean, that's always important, I feel like.
Yeah, and just, I mean, just getting up on stage and, just being able to talk, and no one else
and this city, for the people who are outside of Portland listening to this city is fantastic for comedy. I mean, this is like a gym. I mean, we
actually have. I mean, Curtis Cook is actually he's blown up.
Yeah, he hit that top 10
right in front of us.
Yeah, he hit that top 10, and we see him
we see him all the time.
Yeah, we see Curtis Cook.
Even Hutch Harris. I didn't really realize how popular Hutch Harris is. But he's like a national celebrity.
Yeah. No, Hutch Harris is so funny because one of my friends back in Tampa, I was trying to find new music that I could get into, and he's like, "Oh, you got to check out the Thermals." And this was 7 years ago, dude.
Oh, wow.
Maybe not 7, but maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And then now I'm in the same city that's doing comedy. Yeah,
I feel like all my percent. If I really like the music, I just can't talk with him.
You can't talk to him.
I can talk to him because I don't know how great his music is. Anyways, we've reached the point in our thing where we can do our top 10 list. Yay! Okay, cue the Batman music. We actually didn't talk about what Batman best of list we actually wanted to do, so is there anything off the top of your head that we can do?
Oh. Let's see. Could we do, are there enough costumes to do best costumes, you think? To rate the bat suits?
Rating the bat suits.
Rating the bat suits. We'll put nipples at the bottom, of course. If
Yeah.
You
All
want to
right,
do bat suits?
You want to do bat suits?
Sure.
So we'll do Adam West bat suit as one.
Best.
No,
bat
not-
suit.
Well, no,
Not
not as number one. I mean,
No.
just we'll pick 10.
Those eyebrows, the baby blue eyebrows.
Yeah, baby blue eyebrows. What
and
the fuck was up with that?
sewn-on little ears that look like little bootstraps to pull your hat off.
Best bat suits of all time. All right,
So Batman versus Superman. We'll do the Dark Knight trilogy.
Okay, Dark Knight. Batman vs Superman.
The Tim Burton Batmans.
Those still not
But I also feel like even the Tim Burton Batmans that there's definitely a difference.
Oh, between the Batman, you want
Yeah,
Batman
exactly.
Returns and Batman.
I'd say Michael Keaton had the same uniform for 1 and 2, I think.
No,
Or very much the same.
There are some minor changes to it in the chest piece and stuff too.
Yeah, well they fixed the Bat logo.
Yeah, that's right. They had that wonky Bat logo. They added extra fins too.
Yeah,
that was
kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that.
I don't either. I don't either. It throws me off.
But it's pretty cool when you see it.
Yeah.
Nostalgic. Okay.
Do we want to do any from the comics as well? We can do maybe the classic, iconic, like the blue cowl, the Neil Adams Batman.
I don't include even Batman Beyond.
Oh, I love the Batman Beyond costume. Ooh,
We haven't even gotten into Batman Beyond. There's still so
yeah,
much.
there's a lot of Batman, guys. There's a lot of Batman left.
Batman Beyond. I mean,
do the Batman and Robin with the nipples. Or do you want to just lump Joel Schumacher's nipples together?
yeah, let's just do Joel Schumacher's nipples together.
Joel Schumacher's nipples. Let's see what else.
Nipples and butt cheeks, that's all I remember from the joke.
And we could also do the Dark Knight Returns with the big bat logo. I guess that might be similar to Batman vs Superman though.
Yeah. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean,
let's rate the 7.
all right. Okay.
Let's do that
So, worst
nipples.
nipples.
Yeah.
Joel
Worse than
Schumacher
Adam's West.
Okay, Adam West.
is the worst.
It has to be.
Adam
the
West
worst
looks like
Batman.
he's wearing sequined pajamas. Or not sequined pajamas, but just fucking shiny silk Batman pajamas. And the logo is in like right above his belly button.
Yeah. And it's obviously a sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a sticker. Man, I wish that you guys saw the 12-year-old Batman costume I made when I was...
My dad made me one when I was like 6 out of duct tape. Ooh, I like this song. This is the
Batman
Riddler's.
Forever,
This
yeah.
is the Riddler's hideout.
This is what he jams out to.
In your dreams you can.
But he
I bet-
borrowed
Yeah, eventually I want to do the best Batman scores
He
of all
borrowed
time.
from,
Ooh, that's a good one.
from Frank Gorshin. He borrowed from the Frank Gorshin.
Oh, Riddler, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Batman cartoon. Batman TV.
So Adam West, number 7, Adam West costume.
Okay.
And
And
then
then nipples has to be.
Yeah, nipples is
I'm
number
just gonna
6.
put nipples.
Okay, now we're getting into the good ones.
5. Batman Beyond. I don't think it's number 5. In fact,
he doesn't have a cape, but he's almost more like more like an Iron Man type situation because he's got thrusters in his boots, and he can actually. This is the first Batman that can fly.
yeah.
So
But
the
what
suit
about
itself
the-
is
what about
super
the,
capable.
Honestly,
what about
I'd
the
probably go
Christian
Batman
Bale?
vs Superman.
What about the
Batman
two
Superman?
Christian Bales? One where you could turn his head and one where
Oh, well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like...
because the first one was more rubber.
Well, yeah, it was more rubber. In fact, they really improved upon it they really improved upon it in the second and third
Well,
one.
it was different
Because it was
pieces.
pretty much the same suit in the third
Yeah.
one, right?
Yeah.
They didn't even add anything.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, So I say Batman Beyond we hold off for a bit just because of how tactical and how advanced
cool.
it is. I mean, it's just not just the
seeing
looks.
an actual movie version of that would be so cool.
Oh yeah.
But
They get close to an Arkham Knight.
yeah.
Yeah.
So number 5. What are we looking at? Are we looking at Dark Knight?
Maybe.
No, not Dark Knight, but Batman vs Superman.
I like the Batman vs Superman costume.
Well then let's go Batman. Batman Begins then.
Batman Begins.
Yeah,
Batman
Begins.
It had an interesting look, but yeah, Batman Begins.
He kind of looked like he was hunched over. You know?
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
No.
It wasn't very tactical. Like we said, he couldn't turn his head. And,
Yeah. Short ears on Batman vs Superman. I just don't think I like that. As much.
So not a fan of like Batman Noel style with the shorter ears.
Yeah,
I don't like the big bunny ears that you get once in a while.
Oh, like
in
the
those
Justice
graphic
League,
novels,
like Justice League Unlimited, like
yeah,
giant
those are.
ears.
I don't know why they're floppy.
Yeah.
Why are they floppy?
Here comes Peter, Batman too.
Okay. Well, I have to go with. Well, my number 4 is Batman vs. Superman.
Batman vs Superman. I can see that after Batman.
Maybe the first. Yeah. Yeah.
What else have we got on there?
We got the first Batman, the second Batman.
Do we want to do Batman Returns?
I like almost that one more than this first one.
Okay, so
because he had like a cool like.
So we'll do how about the first Batman one then with the weird logo?
Okay. Okay. The logo is the Batman logo.
Yeah, that's what throws it off.
That's what doesn't get it.
And then
Batman vs Superman.
Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, agreed.
Then Batman Returns.
So it comes down to
Batman Returns and then Batman Beyond.
the Dark Knight. Dark Knight has to have
Dark Knight.
Oh no, it has Batman Beyond too. We forgot to rate them.
Okay.
Okay, so everything gets moved up. Batman logo, and then number 3. I say Batman Returns number 3.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
And then Batman Beyond number 2 and
number 2, just because we've actually never seen like a real life version of it, but it is so cool that we have to see it.
I love the red bat logo, and my buddy has a sweatshirt of it, and it's pretty badass. Actually, like he's got the logo and everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so now we know our list.
And then Dark Knight number 1.
Yeah, no, okay. The Dark Knight, Dark Knight's number 1, 2, and 3 have the best Batman outfit. Number 2, Batman Beyond, almost it makes it on the list and so high up just based on concept alone.
Yeah.
Then we have number 3, Batman Returns. It's more of a realistic Batman suit, I feel like. Then number 4, our Batman logo one, which is still pretty cool in and about itself. In fact, I saw a video on Batman Arkham Knight.
Of them using it? Yeah, that's one of my favorite costumes to use.
Number 5, something that doesn't make it that highly on the list, Batman Begins. The suit for that was not a big fan.
Not just
yeah. It was kind of like, I think that was one of the reasons, like, I love Batman Begins.
It wasn't
but when I was when I was younger, I was kind of like, like it was kind of bland.
Too much of a neck thing going on. Anyway, then number 6, the nipples is not as bad as Adam West's.
Adam West is still hands down.
The nipples, it's still a pretty cool outfit aside from the nipple.
It looks like his mother made that suit
really
on her sewing machine.
You know, they had the nipples on Batman Forever, but the suit was still pretty cool.
Yeah.
They really fucked up, though, with Batman and Robin.
Batman...
That was like, it's a kind of a bluish suit, too.
In Batman Forever, there were 2 costumes. There was his first one, and then the Riddler destroyed everything.
Oh,
the first one was basically...
The second one.
The second one was just a big, huge bat symbol. And it was just... That was kind of cool,
It was actually silver and, like... Where would that one rank?
Above the nipple. Yeah.
I honestly think that the last suit that he wears in Batman Forever is better than Batman Begins.
You think so? Yeah, we could put that above that, I would say.
Okay, so...
But, no, the first one in Batman Forever is basically a variation of the Michael Keaton one with nipples.
With nipples.
And a gold bat instead of the yellow bat.
Yeah,
Like you remember,
exactly.
yeah.
It's still a black suit. It's
Yeah,
still
it's
pretty
still black,
cool.
yeah.
I mean, you just have to get over the
They're
nipples.
not that different,
Okay, so now we know for an official list. Number 1, the Dark Knight, and then Dark Knight Returns. Number 2, Batman Beyond, concept alone. Number 3, Batman Returns. Number 4, Batman, the Bat logo for the first Batman. And then number 5. Actually, the second costume used in Batman Forever.
The prototype. They call it the prototype costume.
The prototype, yeah, the prototype
That's when he had
costume.
the Batwing as well.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty badass Batman.
Yeah.
Then Batman Begins, number 6, number 7, Nipples, number 8,
Adam West.
All right. That's awesome. That kind of does it for our show. Another hour and 10 minutes.
On Batman.
Dude, and we actually got into a lot of Batman on this
Today,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we really delved into Batman. I want to thank Tom. Thanks, Tom,
Thank
for
you
coming
for
on.
having me.
Dude,
I
honestly,
really
it's
enjoyed
so
myself.
cool.
I thought this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, awesome. Kyle, do you have anything? Do you want to promote your Twitter or something?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm still at Batman Casual on Twitter, and come check me out if you haven't already added me. I've got a lot of followers. I say a lot of funny stuff from time to time, and yeah, it's cool. And go ahead. Nick,
you can follow us on Batman Comedy Pod on Twitter, and then you can also follow Nikki Moon Comedy on my on Twitter as well, and then you can look for us on Facebook and stuff like that.
And if you want to see my dad, he sings karaoke at Paisanos.
Oh,
yeah,
very nice. Paisanos. This is Portland, Oregon. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for listening, and tune in next week. Thank you.